Protests held in Pittsburgh after cop cleared in sh00ting. Pittsburgh, the father of a slain black teenager, pleaded for peace Saturday after the acquittal of a white police officer triggered an apparent retaliatory shooting at the defense attorney's office and touched off protests in the streets of Pittsburgh. Police put officers on 12-hour shifts until further notice. The verdict late Friday in the deadly shooting of 17-year-old Antoine Rose II angered his family and civic leaders and prompted hundreds of people to gather Saturday afternoon at an intersection called Freedom Corner in the Hill District neighborhood, the historic center of black cultural life in Pittsburgh. One man held its. Afterward, he told reporters The mostly white crowd then marched through downtown Pittsburgh and other city neighborhoods, periodically blocking streets as they chanted, "Who?" Early Saturday, 5 to 8 shots were fired into the building where the officer's attorney, Patrick Tomassi, works, police in nearby Monroeville said. No one was hurt. Former East Pittsburgh police officer Michael Rosfeld was charged with homicide for shooting Rose as the unarmed teenager ran away from a traffic stop in June. Rosfeld testified. Rose's family is now pressing ahead with a federal civil rights lawsuit filed against Rosfeld and East Pittsburgh, a small municipality about 10 miles 16 kilometers from downtown Pittsburgh, where the trial was held. Tomassi told reporters after the verdict that Rosfeld is a. The leaders of two major Pittsburgh charities issued a statement expressing shock. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was in the spotlight less than 5 months ago, when a gunman ranting about Jews killed 11 people at a synagogue. Rose was riding in an unlicensed taxi that had been involved in a drive-by shooting minutes earlier when Rosfeld pulled the car over and shot the teenager in the back, arm, and side of the face. Neither Rose nor Rosfeld had worked for the East Pittsburgh Police Department for only a few weeks and was sworn in just hours before the shooting. The 12-person jury, including 3 black members, saw video of the fatal confrontation. The jury took less. Prosecutor Jonathan Foti argued that the video showed there was no threat to the officer. But a defense the prosecution did not call its own use of force expert, a decision the American Civil Liberties Union of Pennsylvania questioned. But Mike Manco, shortly before the traffic stop, another person in the taxi, Zajuan Hester, rolled down a window and shot at 2 men on the street, hitting one in the abdomen. Hester, 8, prosecutors had charged Rosfeld with an open count of homicide, meaning the jury had the option of convicting him of murder or manslaughter. Associated Press journalists Michael Rubinkom in northeastern Pennsylvania, Ramesh Santanam in Pittsburgh and Keith Strakosik in Pittsburgh contributed to this story. This story has been corrected to show that shots were fired into the lawyer's building early Saturday, not early Friday.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.